For this video tutorial, we will be doing a mission related to the security overview lesson of the model administration unit. For this, we're going to make a quick copy of our main model so that we can share it differently than we would the main model. Now, for this model, I'm going to remove the sharing for everybody except for administrators that need it. Now, I'm going to make a quick story from this copied model. All that we need to have in this story is some sort of a data-driven object. Make sure that the data-driven object is pointed to the copied model that you have the control over sharing that model. We need to build out this object so that it shows some information. We don't need to have it be overly complicated, but we'll do something like this. And then we need to save this story. And once the story is saved, I'm going to go back into my files repository and change the configuration on how this story is shared. And it is shared, in my case here, with several users. What I want to ensure is that it is shared with a particular test account that I'm going to use in order to demo this concept. And the account itself can have view access or greater, it doesn't really matter. I'm going to share this with, for me, this test account. You can use whatever account you would like within your environment. Now, the story itself has been shared, but the model that drives the underlying data for this story, we did not share with anybody. As a quick reminder, I would go back and look at the copy of my model, and it is only shared with a very limited audience, not the test account that I'm going to be now logging into. I'm now signed in as that test account, and let's go ahead and just confirm what everything is going to look like. I'm going to navigate first to the models folder and confirm that I do not see the copy of that advanced developer model. But in stories, I do have access to the example security overview story. Let's see what happens when I open it up. The story opens, but I do not see the underlying data. Sharing only the story allows a user to open up that story. They have access to the story as a file. But if the model is not shared, that user will not see any data within that story itself. Now let's go back into my main account and provide that test user with view access to the model. All they need is view access. Let's open up that story again as that test user, and we now see the data. So again, just to reinforce, both the underlying model and the story will need to be shared with a user for that user to have the ability to see the data in the story.